Hey, what's going on? Welcome to a brand new edition of the Build series. My name is Kevin Kenny. We have quite the guest here today to end your workday on a Thursday. One of my favorite bands, and I'll get into why I say that, but there's a lot to like about these guys. They burst onto the scene last year with their hit single, Good News, and they're back right now with If You Were Mine, and joining us live in the studio, Ocean Park Standoff. Hey. I like... Very Miss America. There's a little Miss America there, Pete. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. There's a lot to talk to you about. We last spoke on a different show about this time last year. It was right before you were gearing up for the Third Eye Blind tour. I feel like so much has happened in a very short amount of time for you guys. But if I can, I need to fanboy just a little bit and explain why you're one of my favorite bands. The first is how much thought you put into things. You're a very thoughtful band. Of course, you probably guys, you know that already. But I learned that thanks to Samantha over here, last time we did a show like this where I was introducing you guys and I said there was a top 30 hit single. And very quickly, her mic was hot and she goes, no, it's actually top 20. Top 20. But no, point is like you guys, no, but you know, and shame on me for not knowing. But no, I mean, because you guys you're out on the road, you're touching the fans, and you're working really hard for this. That
in a very appropriate,
yes,
Me Too, times up kind
100%, touching them emotionally.
Yes,
but in a positive emotionally way. Yeah, I got to be careful.
In a
Samantha's
non-traumatizing sort of.
Samantha's getting me in trouble. We're like 30 seconds into this thing.
This is the next one.
Yeah,
what I'm here for.
There you go. Scandals breaking on Build, but. All jokes aside, no, I mean, the host should get that right. So it was top 20. And then the other thing that cracked me up about kind of illustrating how much you guys care about this is that we were wrapping up the show and you did an amazing performance of a couple songs, one of them being Good News. And I said in closing, I said, wow, you guys sound even better than the record. You know, wow, because it was amazing. And today...
I love you.
No, but today, you didn't love me then, though. You had a question for me, but we're going to also hear from you today. But you came up to me afterwards, you pulled me aside, you're like, when you said that thing at the end, you know, we sound better than the record. What the hell does that mean? It's like, does the record not sound good? Like, what's wrong with the record?
I definitely...
And I was like, no, I meant it. Like, I was trying to be a compliment, you know? But again, it was the thought that really struck me. It's like, wow, you know, you're doing a million of these promo stops, but really everything, you pay attention to everything and you think about the music.
I also have a tendency to find the negative in any phrase.
Okay, you can take it there,
like,
too.
Sounds better than the recording. Be like, oh, you don't like the recording?
Right, yeah.
But yeah, sorry.
That's what happened. No, and just in closing with my fanboying, the other thing that I love about you guys is how hardworking you are, because I think, you know, you guys are all LA based, right? Okay, and not to throw shade on Los Angeles, it's a fine town, but I feel like there is somewhat of a trend now where it's like, hey, let's just make like a trap song, get an influencer to share it, and then we got a hit single, right? It's like kind of like a new age sort of approach to trying to make something that touches a lot of people. I use that word again, I'm sorry, Samantha. But you guys are doing it the old school way where you write these incredibly catchy, great, you know, pop rock songs, and then you go out and you tour.
We just can't find any influencers to pay to play our songs.
Is that going to be a theme today, I think?
Just gonna anything you say. There's gonna be a drawback.
Yeah. But no, it's amazing what happens when you guys tour like that and you see these fans and you make an impact in ways that I don't think you could on a playlist or something on a computer. And I wanted to draw attention to the effect that you do have on your fans, because it's pretty remarkable. We have some fan letters. This is a handwritten letter that a fan wrote you guys. It's just incredible. Ethan, when you see stuff like this, how does it make you feel?
This is the one thing that's great about social media. You know, there's a lot of things that's wrong with social media nowadays about how people base their value off of it. But with this, it's amazing because we get a chance to interact with a fan so closely. And when she sent this to us, we're in the middle of tour with AJR. And when someone says we're giving them the night of their lives, you know, I remember going to concerts when I was a kid and having the time of my lives. And the fact that we're able to connect with somebody like that and get them to a point where they'll send us a letter like this is just a beautiful thing. And we just love being a part of something that people feel that they can be this close to us. We love it.
It's amazing, and as special as something like this is, it's kind of...
I like that she said my name first.
There you go. Top billing. It's not too uncommon. There's another one that I recently found right here, just a heartfelt sentiment. So, I mean, when you guys start making music together, is this kind of, you know, is this what it's all about?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Like we were actually just doing an interview a little bit ago, and they were talking about why we do what we do and why we're a band together. And the first thing that we talk about is when we get together and hang out, we are always each other's therapists. The first thing we'd always talk about is what's going on in each other's lives. How can we improve it for each other? You know, if you're feeling, I was in the middle of a session with them once, and I said, yo, I gotta go. I'm feeling some things. And they said, yo, go. And then we came back, and they're like, let's write about exactly how you're feeling. And we're able to work through a lot of those things together. And we feel the same way with fans. When we see them on the road and they bond with something we're saying, and we're able to bring them through our experience, saying, you know, you'll make it through to the other side. That's exactly why we do what we do.
Definitely. And I actually want to talk about how you guys formed and you guys being in the studio, because I think that it was really a beautiful and probably rare byproduct of this thing that happens in the music industry, where you get kind of paired off and managers matchmake you, and you're thrown into this room, you don't know this person, you got to pour yourself out to them, and just kind of like you're expected to make music with a stranger. It doesn't always work out and kind of be like a cold experience, but it wasn't at all. I understand. Was it Ethan and Sam?
No, it was Pete and I got together
Pete
on
and
a
you,
play
okay.
date. And then
Ethan won a contest to be in the band, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he won or he lost, whichever one it is. But yeah, Pete and I met. It was like a musical play date, and we got together a couple times. And then he suggested bringing down Ethan. And the first time we wrote was Lost Boys. The second time we wrote was Good News. And so we just had so much fun playing together and working together that it wasn't that insane to want to like keep going.
Yeah. Pete, what was it about Samantha, if the feeling's mutual, that kind of drew you to wanting to work with her in addition to just one session?
I think we just got along really well. That's pretty much it. It's just, if it's easy, then why not, keep going with it. Basically, it's just, in LA especially, it's just, like, you get set up with so many different people, and most of the time it's horrible, and you just want to go away and leave, whatever. But
Cry and take a shower.
yeah, take a cold shower. Think about your life and where you came from.
And how to get home.
But anyway, yeah, it's just like, it was easy working with her, and we just didn't really have much to work on, because I don't sing, Samantha doesn't. I mean, she sings, but we didn't have much to do. So I brought Ethan in, and now we're a band.
Yeah,
I'd say one of the things that drew me to Samantha is exactly what she was just
Tell me
doing.
why you love me.
Exactly what she was doing when she came in here. She always just, regardless of what you care about or what's going on, she just says what's on her mind, like no holds bar. And you always know. She always says this too. Whenever we're talking about somebody, and I'll be like, "Oh, should we not be saying this? Just be around." She's like, "Oh no, I'd say it to their face." And I know that she's honest when she's saying that. That's anything.
I can attest to some of those things you would say randomly to someone.
Yeah, and it's very inspiring to be around someone like that who will just say their part, say what they feel, and have no issues with it.
Right on. Pete, you are somebody that works, in addition to your work with Ocean Park Standoff, you do production work for 30 Seconds to Mars and a bunch of different acts. Is that what you look for, though? Like what you were speaking to, the kinship between you and Samantha, just liking the person, getting along with the person? Is that sort of
I mean, that's the number one step, for sure. I have to like you in order to make good music, generally. I mean, sometimes it's worked out where I've hated the person, and I ended up making like something amazing, and I just, it was a very strange scenario. But most of the time,
who are those bands?
Well,
You'll never
actually,
get it out of him.
Yeah.
when you go and you make something amazing with someone that you didn't think you would do something well with, then you kind of become friends. Like, oh, maybe we should just be nice to each other. But yeah, it's just, like I said, the first step is really just like being friends with someone.
Yeah.
It makes it easier.
Well, we're talking a lot about you guys in the studio. We have a clip of you in the studio, and I wanted to watch that right now, and then we'll talk about it.
The song is about choices and basically about love and singing to somebody that you want to be yours, whatever yours is. I had so much faith in this song, and every time I played it back in the day, I was like, it's just not right. And then just this dynamic is what made it.
So is that pretty apropos for... Made it. I like that.
What did it make it?
But is that pretty apropos? Is that kind of how it goes down in the studio with you guys? Like, what are the roles and...
It depends on the song. If You Were Mine was a song that I'd written a long time ago, only halfway, with this songwriter, this guy Jay Hart. And usually the way it works is we just come into the room and we just start all together. Like Ethan and I write, and then Pete makes everything sound amazing.
Okay.
But that just happened to be one song that I played. Ethan wasn't around. Where were you? You had a session with somebody, maybe.
Yeah.
And so it was something I played for Pete. I was like, I just came back across this song. What do you think? And he really liked it. So we worked on it and sent it to Ethan, and he liked it. Made me feel pretty good. And we finished it. Yeah.
I heard you say something about the song that you loved it, you believed in it, you had so much faith in it, but there was like just something missing about it. Something was off. It wasn't
Half
quite
of the
right.
song was missing.
Okay. Was it that?
And it was, no, it was just like when I wrote it in one of those writing sessions. It was me and this kid, and we just wrote it to a track, and we wrote 2 songs that day. And when I finished, I played it for my manager. I was like, I really like the song. I think I want to like finish it. And he was like, yeah, it's all right. You know, I don't know if he actually listened to it though. Now that I think about it, he didn't often actually listen to things before giving advice about them. And he, I would say that to his face too. And and so he, so yeah, it was just something that sat on my computer and my hard drive for. When did I write? May of 2015. Is that we just found the date? And but it's different. Like when we write together, like we have this immediate sense of knowing what's gonna work or what isn't, and we have each other to bounce off of. So you don't get that far into a song before you really, if we think it's garbage, we're gonna tell each other.
Right.
Pretty honest and kind, but honest. And so it was just one of those situations where I knew it would go if it was the right vocal, if it was, because it was this guy I wrote it with sang the original vocal, and it was too personal of a song to just kind of send out there for like anybody to sing. It would have to be somebody that connects to it. So this just worked out.
Definitely. You guys obviously have such a great rapport musically. So when you bring in somebody outside the group like Lil Yachty on the remix, how did that come about?
That came about that Samantha always talks about this. We all have different backgrounds as far as the music that we like and love, but one very common thread we have is hip hop. Okay. So when we first did that, we just threw arbitrarily, I think, Amigos rap on it, and we sent it to the label, and they're like, "This is great. We'll release it like this." We're like, "Nah, that's a famous top 10 song right now."
From Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we can't put that on there. So we started kicking around the idea, and actually it was our label that reached out to us and said, we sent it out to a few people, and here's who's interested. And Little Yachty's name came up, and we were blown away that he was actually interested in performing on it. We didn't think it was ever going to happen. About a week or two later, we got sent the version with him on it, and we fell in love with it pretty quickly. And then we ended up going to work with him in a video, and everything just worked so smooth. And yeah, it was just because we wanted that common theme of hip hop in our vibe.
Do you guys all like the same kind of hip hop? No. Do you have like? No? Okay, well, Pete says definitely no. What kind of hip hop does Pete like? Because I remember you being like the hip hop guy last time we spoke.
Yeah, I mean, we all generally like the same things, but specifically, we all like different things. I mean, I listen to like a lot of instrumental, weird SoundCloud trap music, but you know, we all like everything, pretty much.
Ethan? What's your favorite kind of hip hop?
Well, I mean, right now, just as much as the whole globe is, like, J. Cole was crushing it. Kendrick, as far as the messages he's putting out, and same with J. Cole. I really just like rappers for the same reason I like Samantha. They say what's on their mind. They don't sugarcoat it, and they just put it out there. And I feel like those are two big artists right now who are just saying it how it is, and it's great to hear.
Definitely.
I mean, I've been DJing for 20 years, and almost. And I grew up listening to like 90s hip hop and like East Coast, like Gangstar, Tribe Called Quest, Jay-Z, Biggie, like that just dope. When people said something, I'm not such a huge fan of the new kind of mumble rap.
Yeah.
I like lyrics.
Tekashi 6ix9ine right now in your
I like lyrics, so I like Joni Mitchell as much as I love Q-Tip, as much as I love Jay, as much as I love anybody. It's
storytellers.
Yeah, Nas, all those. Yeah.
Definitely. Very cool. Now, it's kind of rare to get a feature and then also meet the person. I feel like now everything's over email. What was it like when you actually shot the video, which isn't out yet with Yachty, but what was that like meeting Yachty?
He was as sweet as everyone had painted him to be. We talked just music and life with him for the whole time he was on set. Hung out with him. He said he's a huge fan of the song. Let's collaborate in the future. And I mean, we were just giddy that he was there and hanging out because he had such a big year, and the fact that someone who had come across to people in such a positive way and had such a big impact was also vouching for us, made us feel like we were on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely.
He also, when we were sitting there, we were doing some pictures, and I was like, "How should we be?" And he's like, "I like smiling." And like, first of all, like that just reminded me of Elf because I feel like he says that in Elf. And also, like, that's who we are. We just want to bring, like, positivity. Like, we have no interest in, like, pretending we're cool or doing anything like that. So pretty much it made it feel like, okay, cool, we're in the right place.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because that's when I saw the feature. I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense. It's like same vibe, same kind of
Also,
message.
ocean and Yachty, it's like
Yes,
regatta.
very nautical.
It's very well themed.
You guys, I love your music.
Never even thought about that till just this moment. Literally.
Yeah, I like it. There might be a boat-themed video. I don't know, but
I'm on a boat.
you guys are, speaking of videos, I love your guys' music videos. You did an amazing job with Lost Boys. You essentially recreated the Forrest Gump movie with Ethan being Tom Hanks over there. And some great acting, by the way.
We're trying to get Ethan to wear that wig all day long now, but he's you know.
That'd be great. That'd be great for all the
And
interviews.
the beard.
The beard, yeah.
And the poncho.
What is the concept behind the If You Were Mine video? Because it's not out yet, but it's been shot. We don't have a date or anything, right?
Yeah. So check this out.
Here's the situation.
Here's
My
the
parents went away on a week's vacation and...
Right now, we filmed our part with Yachty, which we adore that part. That part we love. The rest of the video right now, we're rescaping around that whole section because, again, how it clicked with him being on the track, it clicked with the part he was in the video, and the rest of it we're all reworking right now around that scene, and that's all I'll say for now.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Secrets.
Yeah.
Ocean Park Standoff.
Well, there's a lot to look forward to with Ocean Park Standoff, including a tour. You guys are hitting the road with Plain White Tees, which I'm very excited about. When does that kick off? Do you guys even know? Because I know things are probably a blur right now.
No, definitely June 16th in... I know this because I was supposed to do a DJ gig that day, and I can't.
I can't.
The 16th we're in Atlanta. I think the 17th in St. Louis. Yeah, 17th
We're
in St.
getting the
Louis.
thumbs up back there.
Oh, and that's where we ended our last tour. Oh, wow. Serendipitous.
Full circle.
Yeah, we just can't leave St.
It's
Louis.
like the ocean.
It's not Atlanta. It's Arkansas, right? The first show.
I don't know. It's
No, the first show was in St. Louis.
Well, all the dates are available
Whatever.
online,
They're online.
and you can check those out. I'm sure across your social
Let
media.
us argue over this for a little while
But-
longer if you want.
No, this
It's
is
Arkansas.
trust me. This is very engaging content. But let's turn it over to the audience who has some questions. First up, right here.
Hi. So I just want to say I love seeing you guys live. The first time I saw you was in Camp Izzy, which was way, way, way back. So since you guys has been touring with AJR and gonna go back on the road again, what like new musical aspects have you gathered to better your music, to better your brand?
I'd say one of the biggest things is when we started as a band, we were a group of writers and producers who loved hanging out, and we didn't really think about how is this going to translate live. And since we've been on the road, the main thing is we're just diving into each other's chemistry. We're really playing each other, figuring out where Pete takes control of the show, figuring out where Samantha takes control of the show, and figuring out who we are as people on stage, because that's kind of a different presence than when you're standing around as people. It's like a energized, super hype level, and I think we're just figuring out how to embody who we truly are as Ocean Park Standoff.
I've got lasers now. Yeah. Finger lasers. They're pretty awesome.
So we blind a lot of people too. It's great.
It's awesome. Great question.
It's a really good question, by the way. What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a student and I also dabble in the music industry, so yeah.
Smart.
Hi. I was wondering, since it's like the three of you, how do you guys kind of balance working together and like getting into the creative aspect of making music when the more you do it, the more it becomes kind of a business where you have to do stuff by a certain date, you have tours, you have actual work now in addition to like the creative work. Like how do you guys kind of balance those things?
So far, nobody's been giving us really deadlines on a creative level. We just love to make music, and it's kind of our own sort of like inner insanity. Like we gotta make more. We gotta create.
I personally love deadlines because that means
we
have
give
to
him
get it done.
deadlines. We end up with deadlines when it comes down to like, all right, we need this mixed and we need stems so it can get mixed. But when it
Then I'll
comes to
just mess around
creative, we just
forever.
kind of like we'll write for a while when we're just home.
Yeah, you know that saying, like, when nature calls, not talking about music? That's how it is creatively for us. It's just kind of, we're hanging out, and it's like, all right, we need to get in
All
the
of a sudden we
studio.
just have to pee.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Isn't that about going to the bathroom?
It is. But that's how it feels to me. It's a natural thing that just, when we're on the road, when we get back, we're about a week separate from each other, and then we call each other up, and we're like, okay, when are we getting back in, and when are we going to create more?
Yeah, I like literally called Ethan the other day, and I was like, my hands hurt. Like, I need to write. Like, it felt like we've been home for long enough. We hadn't seen each other. It was time to get in and write. We didn't, but we meant to.
Thanks for the question.
Thanks, bro.
Now, I'm going to get out of the way. You guys are going to actually be nice enough to perform for us in just a few moments. But again, if you're watching at home and you want to see these guys out on the road, whether it's in Arkansas or Atlanta or St. Louis or any city that you'll be hitting along the way, those dates are available and out now across Ocean Park Standoff's social media. So thank you so much for stopping by, guys.
Kevin, thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.